Stick and stay with us. When we are back, we get to the complaints of the teachers who say they don't have a place to sleep because for 7 good months, they haven't received their salaries from the Ghana Education Service. I'm going to host one of the PROs of the Ministry of Education. He's going to explain to us what is happening with the biometric registration. Stick and stay, we'll be right back. Here now with the PRO, or one of the PROs of the Ministry of Education, Yao Opoku Mensah, speaks for the Ministry of Education. I've told you early on that the issues are about some crop of teachers who were recruited some 7 months ago, and their complaint is that they haven't been able to go through the biometric registration still. That means that they haven't received salaries from the last 11 or 7 months, and some of them have had to be evicted by their landlords. This is coming from Sir Chris in our region. He says, good evening. Kindly ask the PRO, should our region expect another list of staff IDs for biometrics before 28th of August as scheduled? That's a question coming up. Good evening, sir. I'm Mohammed Aminu from Adina Social Welfare. Please, can you ask Ekufado if you really want us to leave Ghana or what? I am a teacher. Good evening, Mr. Free. This is Hussein, reaching you from Tamale. I want to know from the PRO why third batch of staff ID has been released without Northern Region known. Meanwhile, Northern Region has also been captured in the third batch biometric timetable. Please, Mr. PRO, help us to have our staff IDs in the Northern Region now. We are truly suffering, and it's not funny anymore. We are teaching with hunger and anger. Good evening. My name is Julius, a newly posted teacher. Good evening to you and to your guests. Please, I want your honorable guests to help me understand the reason why the third batch of staff IDs of newly recruited teachers has been released, but Northern Region, well, we have read one of that already. This is coming from you, Mubarak Cherbo from Tamale. So the issues are many, too many messages coming up. This one says, hi, I am Udia Sempa Alo Milu. Ask Honorable when they are paying newly posted teachers for it's 7 months, now getting to 8 months. Please ask him, why is Western, Savannah, and Northern Region staff IDs not in? So we are getting these from all of these people. And let me introduce to you Mr. Yao Opoku Mensah. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
For having me.
I hope you're doing very well.
Good.
Unfortunately, we should have brought you in earlier, but we'll still do with the time that we have. But I have already laid the issues down, and your people are sending in lots of messages, loads of them. But let me ask you, what's happening with the teachers you posted?
Let me say good evening to yourself and to my teachers, my colleague teachers. The issue that you put forth, it's a mixture of some receiving or having their staff IDs generated, others have been paid. Now, if you look at the total number of teachers that we are referring to here in this discussion, we are looking at 16,850. And now, as we speak, 16,534 staff IDs have been generated. 16,534 has been generated. So we are done with 98% of the total, that is the 16,850. So we have only 2% out there, that is 316.
316 people.
316. Now,
that you are yet to issue the ID
The
cards.
316 do have issues. They do have issues. Now, the issue has got to do with some...
But kindly indulge me. So 16,850 people are the ones you have recruited in the last 8 months.
Yes.
And you are supposed to give them biometric ID cards.
Yeah, we are supposed to generate a staff ID. That leads to the biometric registration for payment to be effected. Now, out of these 16,850, you have done 16,534. Sure.
Remaining 316 people.
Yes.
Now, the 16,534, have you released the cards to them?
There is nothing like a card. Now, when we talk of the generation of staff ID, every government worker is paid with what is known as that staff identity number.
Right.
So that is the identity number that you use until you go on retirement. So if you don't have that staff ID, that means that your name is not captured on the controller's list for payment to be effected to you. So you need to go through a process before you can have that staff ID coupled with further biometric registration. So that is how it is. First, what teachers will have to do is submission of what is termed as the submission of assumption duty letter. So that is the letter that you take it from your school, then onward to the district, coupled with all your documents which are needed for processing to be done.
So it is not as if when the ministry or the Ghana Education Service posts you as a teacher, automatically you become qualified for payment. You need to assume office first.
Yes.
And then you need to submit a letter of assumption.
Yes.
Second, then we can, based on that, generate the staff ID for you.
Yes.
And then it goes on to the biometric.
Yes.
And then it goes on to your payment.
Yes.
If you haven't gone through.
Yeah. So if you look at the numbers, 6,349 staff who were able to go through the process from May. That is from May up April to June. Have been paid what they are entitled to. Their salaries plus the bulk of the salaries that were supposed to be paid to them immediately when they were recruited. So that number, 6,349, have duly been paid. So we're left
in its entirety. You don't know them anything.
So what it means is that they were able to submit all the documents which are required from them. So that is why I mentioned that 316 do have queries on their letters.
Okay.
So they are supposed to submit all the necessary documents. Others do submit documents without their NTC, whether if you've passed through you've passed the teaching council examination to certify you as a qualified teacher. So others also do without submitting their certificate attached to it. So when these documents are forwarded to the headquarters, now it goes for vetting. And the vetting will have to see these infractions and flag it out and send it back to the region for the affected teacher to be informed to add up the necessary documents which are needed
for the process. Are the teachers aware of this process that you are
every teacher should be aware. The reason why I say every teacher should be aware is that immediately you pick the assumption of letter duty, when you go to the district office, it is required that you do all these. So it is what the submission of document that you do, that is what determines the input, whether if it will go fast or not. That depends
on
you.
The 6,349 did the due diligence from the beginning.
Yes, definitely.
And they went through the process.
Yes, definitely.
So they have been paid.
Yes, definitely. So currently with the 16,534, from that number 6,000, all these numbers do have their staff IDs generated. Now they are going through the biometric process that you mentioned.
Right.
And we have zoned the region out for them to effect that biometric process. So we have 7 zones in all, and every region or every zone do have a date that is appointed for you to go through the biometric registration process.
So that's how come I get so many messages. People are mentioning Western North, for example.
Yeah, when
okay, so go on. Where is Western North happening?
Yeah, Western North will have theirs specifically in Kumasi Nat Hall on the 15th of this month to 27th. Yeah, so that is why it is zoned.
Those whole areas and come to Kumasi.
Yeah, it is zoned. It is zoned for the process.
Right,
and they do understand it.
They understand.
Yeah, they do understand how it is done. So you go through.
But these are. I mean, I'm sure you will communicate this to the minister. And Honorable John Intimfojo is my friend, and the minister, Dr. Duchum, too, is my friend. And if they have zoned this, and Ghana Education Service Prof is also a friend, but if they have zoned, then people are going to move from Seshi, Yoso, for example, Yoso, for about 3-4 hours, and the person has hired a room. The landlord is evicting him. The money to even pay the landlord is not available, and you want him to find money for transportation back to Kumasi, Natal, and finish and go back, and still the money is not coming immediately. Can't we find a way out to do it in Seshi for them? They are raging on their own.
Yeah, ideally I would have agreed with you, but these are the operations of Ghana Education Service, and I believe they know the operational challenges. And mind you, this is a collaborative effort between the Ghana Education Service and the Controller and Accountant General's Department.
Exactly.
Yeah, you are looking at moving staff in there to take the process, to take them through the process. So it becomes very important that you do a strategic mapping. And I believe that is what has informed the zonal aspect in ensuring that we do capture every qualified teacher in the process for them to receive their salary. the Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Soya Dichum, do care for these teachers. That is why he got worried when the complaints of people, non-payment of salaries came about. He quickly have to delve into the matter, and that is why we are seeing the closure of this issue. So it's a mixture of what happens at the teachers, and that is these are the newly recruits, as I indicated, incomplete submission of these documents, etc. That will affect the process and how fast you do it. And there are genuine cases as well. Others were posted to areas where they were later reposted. So what it means is that it will affect the process in you going through to have your biometric done and finishing it off. But so far, so good. Now, if you look at the numbers, 16,534, it tells you that we are done, almost done.
I mean, I agree with you. You see, you are doing a good job as a PRO, speaking for your people and explaining the things very well.
Can I tell you something?
But I know of a town called Gambia Number 1. And until I think about the year 2000,
Gambia
when it's in Ahafo, around Gosu area, Shudiem, Achensua, those places. And cars are not able to go there. You post a teacher there who doesn't have a car, probably should get a motor or a bicycle. And internet probably is not there. So access to even the information that you are given now will be very difficult. If we don't solve the logistical challenges for these people, or if we don't move it closer to them, how are they able to, I mean, you are explaining everything, how the process is going. I have a very clear understanding of the 316 people, the 6,349 people, and the rest of them who haven't done their work.
But let's ask ourselves, that is an ideal situation. It becomes a mental picture where we're moving the logistics closer to them. But practically, ask yourself, the 16,534, how did they get the information that this is what we are doing? Every teacher recruited within this space, they do have a common platform where information is shared. And as we speak, those who have seen their staff IDs go through it through the various platforms that they do join. And they do share information among themselves. And I am told that they've even put themselves together in a group. So by so doing, information is sent out to them.
And
so
they're
the
on
dissemination
WhatsApp
of
groups and so
information,
on and so
the dissemination of information is key. And that is what has resulted in we being able to reduce the number to 316 with these irregularities in the submission of their forms.
I think I need to make a promise to you viewers. The number of messages that are coming in, if he agrees, we may have to bring him back next week, not on this topic alone, but to answer some of the questions that are bothering us. Somebody says, and before you go on, let me just read this one about the landlord issues and so on and so forth. But someone says, please ask Honorable to send me 50 Ghana cedis this night, else I will die. I'm the Costa
God is with you.
From Western, but posted to a village at Tamale. School have vacated, but I'm still here without even a penny. I have not also received my staff ID. Oh, I've regretted becoming a teacher. So, Acosta is asking for 50
a child
Ghana
to keep I have and a God to glorify. And never dying to save and fitting for the sky. So this is the time to serve the present day. It's a calling that we fulfilled. What is important is that I say and refer it every day, that intrinsically, this job is a calling. You do understand the implications of the profession that you've chosen. And before 2017, I'm a trained teacher. I worked for 16 solid months before I received my first salary.
16
that was
months?
In 2010. 16 solid months before I received my first salary. But what we've done, we've been able to shorten that 16 months to 3 months period.
So now you are recruited as a teacher,
yeah,
within 3 months.
Yeah, 2017. So that is what got Minister worried, that how come this crop of teachers are still complaining, irrespective of 6,349 receiving their salary and their back pay as well. So he got worried looking at the numbers and why our inability to generate the staff IDs on time. And as a result of these challenges from the system, that is what has resulted in where we are. But as we speak, the way forward is what we've been able to do And we are hopeful that next month, which is September, this 16,534 virtually will receive their salaries plus the
next month.
arrears.
When? Which date on next month? September.
Yeah, next month.
Which date on next month?
No, the paid.
It's a process.
The date paid for government workers to receive their salaries.
So by the end of next month, if we bring you here, the answer from you should be that we have paid them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We have paid everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Kindly quickly run us through where the team is moving to, which of the regions you are moving to, so where you are starting from, where currently you are, and let people know, because so many of the questions I'm getting are, ask Honorable when they are coming to my region, Western North. Somebody says, please let the PRO know that widows in the Northern region haven't received staff IDs. So, I mean, it keeps coming. Too many.
Northern region, 1,022 teachers were recruited.
Right.
Northern region, 1,020. And now we are left with only 1% out of that number, which is 10.
Wow.
10 teachers are yet to receive their staff ID. So that's
sorted.
Yes.
From Northern region, where are you going?
From Northern region. Now, for the zonal biometric registration, now Ashanti region and Northern region, that is the first zone, they will have theirs done at Kumasi Nat Hall. Kumasi Nat Hall from 15th to 27th of this month. Now, Ahafo, Bono and Bono East will have theirs done at Sunyane Nat Hall from the 28th to 2nd of September. And you look at Central region and Greater Accra region will have theirs at Nat Hall headquarters on the 15th to 17th of this month. The same thing applies to Eastern region. Eastern region will have theirs in Koforidua, done in Koforidua, 18th to 23rd. Then Northeast, Northern region, Savannah, Upper East, Upper West, Tamale Nat Hall, from the 3rd of September to 8th September. That is their appointed date. So Volta region and Oti region, whole Nat Hall specific, 15th of this month to 17th of this month. And the Western region, that is the Zone 7, Takrade Nat Hall, from the 25th of this month to 29th of this month. So that is the timetable. That is the zonal arrangement for teachers to go in there, have their biometric done. But I think we need to issue a caution. Now, the staff have gone through bend the midnight quail to ensure that this process ends as the minister directed. So therefore, the onus lie on them, especially the teachers, those who are yet to go through the process, to take
make
this
sure
exercise very serious.
Right.
And this is a bread and butter issue, so that I wouldn't come back into your studio and be singing a child to keep I have and a God to glorify.
But you want to promise us that you'll come back, because I think so far I'm getting almost about 100 messages.
All on salary issues.
All on salary issues. So we'll speak to you again and try and get you back. So Yao Opoku Mensah is a deputy PRO at the Ministry of Education, which oversees the Ghana Education Service. He's been answering questions on what is happening to your salaries. You know, on Bottomline, we are concerned about issues of employment, economic empowerment, and so forth. Too many messages, but we have received them all. Kindly forgive us if I'm not able to mention your name and if I'm not able to read your message, but it's all about the payment of the salaries. Someone is talking about the posting of nurses, 7 months. When we bring him next, I think next week or the following week, we'll be asking him about the issues of the nurses as well, and all of the issues within the sector. I think we'll get the Minister of Health to join that. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining us, PRO for the Minister of Education, Yao Opoku Mensah. We early on had Mr. William K. Ofe Mensah, Deputy Director, General Technical and Field Operations from the Internal Audit Service. And then we had Mr. Kofi Kapito, CPA, Consumer Protection Agency. My name is Kwesi. I've been doing the hosting this evening, and of course, you can still tweet at me at Kwesi on Twitter and follow me on Kwesi on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us. Good evening.